At Vladivostok, Allied observers noted Japanese-built destroyers now in Soviet service. Submarines once listed as sunk were seen in northern fleets. The very ships that had supposedly gone to the bottom were back, alive, and in enemy hands. How had this happened? Some historians argue it was simple. Under the surrender agreements, the Soviets received a share of captured Japanese vessels. Officially, they were reparations. But the transfer was anything but transparent. Records show that ships declared sunk in Japanese logs were instead quietly turned over to the Red Navy. Other vessels seemed to vanish from Allied rosters altogether, only to reappear years later in Soviet exercises. For Western intelligence, this raised uncomfortable questions. Had Japan deliberately misled the Allies, handing over ships in secret to their new occupiers in the north? Or had the Soviets themselves manipulated the paperwork, erasing the true origin of their acquisitions? The Cold War was just beginning, and the sight of former Japanese destroyers sailing under Soviet flags carried an ominous message. The weapons of the last war were already fueling the rivalries of the next. To conspiracy theorists, the implications were darker still. If Moscow could quietly absorb Japanese ships, could it also have sheltered rogue Japanese crews, submariners unwilling to surrender, now operating under a different master? Was the Soviet Union not only recycling Japan's fleet, but secretly extending its unfinished war against the West? Officially, the answer was no. Unofficially, the contradictions mounted. The lines between scuttled, surrendered, and stolen blurred. And once again, the question returned. Just how many Japanese ships truly disappeared in 1945? By 1946, the contradictions surrounding Japan's missing ships were no longer just about warships. A new and more tantalizing rumor began to spread, one tied not to battles, but to treasure. For years, Japan had looted Asia on an unimaginable scale. Gold, jewels, priceless artifacts, even entire collections of art and manuscripts, all taken from China, the Philippines, Malaya, and beyond. Historians estimate billions of dollars in wealth vanished into Japan's war machine. But when the empire collapsed, much of it was never recovered. Where had it gone? Some pointed to hidden caches in caves and tunnels across the Philippines. Others whispered that the missing wealth had been carried away aboard submarines in the final days of the war. Stories told of I-class subs loading crates under cover of night, gold bars sealed in watertight drums, cultural treasures crated for transport, and then silence. The submarines vanished.